and thank you for tuning into Gummi Ship Radio, the podcast where two childhood girlfriends synthesize their brains to comprehensively figure out what exactly is Kingdom Hearts lore. As a gentle reminder, this podcast sporadically contains spoilers throughout all of the Kingdom Hearts installments. Each season of Gummi Ship Radio will follow the release order of the video game series, and episodes are chronological with the events of the game of the season. We strongly recommend listening in order, so proceed at your own caution. I'm one half of that brain, Brittany.
And I'm the other half, Victoria. And I'll be leading today's episode on Agrabah. Brittany, How are we doing this evening?
We're doing good.
Doing really good? Good.
Tomorrow's my birthday. So
tomorrow is your birthday. Woo! I'm very excited that we can get this done before your birthday so you can just hang out, chill out, do what you got to do, and not have to worry about this scripting whatsoever. But yeah, Agrabah, I believe for playing the game again, watching it all again, is like when we start getting to like real plot points, it feels like that is where we start getting a little more answers to things, but with every answer comes like a new question.
For sure.
Especially with what Riku is doing now that he is kind of in with this crowd.
So sad.
It's very sad. It's so hard to see.
So disappointing.
He's so misguided. It hurts. It hurts to see. Oh my God, the poor thing. Well, this is our one and only world we're going through this episode. We both felt that there was enough that happens in this world that it warrants its own dedication to its own episode. Yes. So to give y'all a recap of last episode per Jiminy Cricket, in Deep Jungle, Sora and his friends sought to reach the gorillas' nesting grounds, but Clayton, possessed by the Heartless, stood in their way. He abducted Jane and hunted down the gorillas. In their final showdown, Sora and company defeated Clayton and an invisible monster named Stealth Sneak. Sora finally gained Kerchak's trust and was allowed to go to the nesting grounds. Tarzan led everyone to a cavern with a mysterious keyhole. When Sora sealed it with the Keyblade, he found an unusual gummy block. Although Sora and the others couldn't find their friends, the new gummy block should help them get to another world. Sora, Donald, and Goofy said goodbye to Tarzan and the others and continued with their journey back to Traverse Town, where Sora was reunited with Riku back in town, but they were separated again. Aerith explained that the Heartless travel to various worlds through the keyholes, so sealing them might prevent more Heartless from invading each world. The new gummy opened a path to another world. I also want to say that you and I talked a little bit about this little plot hole about closing keyholes to stop these Heartless from coming through.
This is true.
And yet, these motherfuckers keep coming back.
I never questioned it until now.
Same. I was like, this is, I get what, like, the idea of it that we're doing, but then how come whenever I go back, because I got a new Trinity color, I'm fighting these Heartless again? What was the point of closing this keyhole?
We're asking the tough questions now.
That's what Gummi Ship Radio is all about, asking the tough questions.
Good reporting. That's hilarious.
Right? So that is what we left off on, and now we're headed to this new path that the gummy block opened us up to, which is Agrabah. But before we dive into Agrabah, just one quick little type honorable mention that we're calling it is that for the rest of the game, as you mostly all know, you can return back to Olympus to continue fighting in the cups to make yourselves true heroes. The Fill Cup becomes available to fight in once you leave Traverse Town and could be on your way to Agrabah. So if you do decide to, our junior heroes fight in the Fill Cup and continue to climb the ranks through the big games. And after victory in this wave, they move up the rankings from junior to novice heroes. So that's just something you can do at this point in the game. And that is the Fill Cup from Olympus Coliseum.
For sure.
Now it's time to get to Agrabah.
Yes.
So, in this episode, Sora, Donald, and Goofy crash land in Agrabah, where they finally meet Maleficent, a princess named Jasmine, and some friends they have never met the likes of before. That was me attempting to do like a you ain't never met a friend like me. I was trying to like find a way to say that. That may not
now
have come
I get
clear.
Now I get it.
That was my attempt.
Now that you pointed that out, I get
Oopsies.
it.
Some friends they've never met the likes of before. Da-da-da. All right. Diving in. Off the bat, we see Maleficent, Jafar, and Iago the parrot take a leisurely stroll discussing their plans of finding the keyhole of Agrabah. Unfortunately, the other part of their plan is a certain Princess Jasmine who is now missing. Jafar isn't worried though. He's sure they'll find the keyhole with or without her, to which Maleficent reminds him we need all 7 princesses of heart to open the final door. Jafar orders the Heartless to find her, but not before Maleficent warns him to not steep in darkness for too long, because the Heartless consume the careless. Again, Jafar isn't worried. Unbeknownst to them, Jasmine is hiding not too far away and has heard everything. So, let's just munch on that for a little bit, because this is the first time in this part of the game that we are hearing straight from the villain's mouth some of their objectives. Not all the objectives, but some of the objectives, right?
Right. Jasmine is the best.
Oh my gosh. She's like a little minx.
I feel like she's the only princess in this whole thing that like has any idea what's going on.
She takes it upon herself to actually like spy and actually do some reconnaissance, like,
yeah,
you know?
I feel like she's the only one who isn't.
She's not getting caught in some birdcage.
Yeah. It's like, oh God, this is actually bad that this is happening.
It's so funny. No, you're right. She's like she's a working princess. I mean, from the movies, she wants to be out in the streets. Like, she wants to be with the people.
Yeah.
So it's not surprising that she'd be like hiding around town trying to gain some intelligence of what they're doing.
Also, how like is she missing because she like is actively hiding from them? They lost her, like.
So we'll get to that. Actually, there's a little,
okay.
there's a little, like, at one point she meets up with Sora and all them, and she tells them what goes on. So that'll be next.
Okay.
But before we get there, this is the first time we hear we need all 7 princesses of heart to open the final door. So this whole door thing keeps coming up, specifically 7 princesses. Those are the nuggets of information that we're getting so far.
Okay.
But it's still something. It's still something.
That is.
So moving on, Sora, Donald, and Goofy fight their way through different heights and passages throughout the streets of Agrabah until they meet this Princess Jasmine hiding in the bazaar. She explains that her father is High Sultan, making her a princess, but has been deposed by his royal vizier, Jafar, who has gained evil powers and controls the city. She regales the conversation she heard from Jafar and Maleficent about their search for the keyhole. She was initially caught trying to escape, but swoons over this mystery hero who saved her named Aladdin. They were hiding nearby, but he left a while ago to take care of something, and she hasn't seen him since. Unfortunately for them, Jafar was also listening in on this conversation and is onto them, and determined to find Aladdin's whereabouts. Sora tells Jasmine to run, and she sure does. Like, she fucking books it. Like, she books it out of there. And Jafar recognizes Sora as the Keyblade wielder and sends his heartless lackeys after them. After battles and exploration, they find Aladdin's house and release a carpet stuck in a bind. They watch Carpet fly straight to the desert and guess that following the carpet is their best bet to finding Jasmine's hero, Aladdin. So we get a little piece of information of how they're getting, like, we were talking about this, I think 2 episodes ago, like versions of the movie just being played out in a different way, like the same things happening in the movie, but obviously getting to them in a different way. So this is their way of getting Aladdin and Jasmine meeting, which I think is super cute.
Yes, that is super cute. Definitely have to have that little moment between the two, because what is Aladdin without Jasmine? Like,
absolutely. No, she's the reason for all of it. Like,
right.
She's the reason why he gets in trouble in the movie. She's the reason why he gets in trouble in this game.
Yes.
Without getting too far into the details, what I found with this world is that this is definitely more of a world encountered and universal plot points being explained. But with this one, like, they really honor the beats of the movie in time with the beats of what has to happen in this game. And so I really appreciated that. I think I say it at some point.
For sure. I also think Jafar, doesn't he mention, like, or doesn't he say, like, the boy with the key or something like that to Sora?
Does he say that to Sora?
Like, when he sees him?
I wrote Jafar recognizes Sora as the Keyblade wielder and sends his heartless lackeys after them.
I think he says, like, the boy who holds the key.
Right, yeah. He recognizes him as, like, oh, like, you know something a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Something's going on there.
The desert is too wide and vast for them to explore it alone, so off they go on a magic carpet ride. Upon arrival, Sora and the gang rescue Aladdin and his pal Abu, while the Heartless continue attacking. At the last moment, Aladdin whips out a rinky-dink lamp and unveils a genie and wishes his first wish, to get rid of these guys. Once in safety, Sora asks what he was doing out there, and Aladdin explains his trip to the Cave of Wonders, where he found a magic carpet and this lamp that grants the power of the genie to whoever possesses it. After a fun and flamboyant introduction, we meet the zany genie, and he explains that the holder of the lamp only gets 3 wishes, to which Aladdin now only has 2 left. Aladdin reserves his second wish to be a prince so he can be with Princess Jasmine. But oh no, Jasmine's in trouble, and they all have to save her. On the way over to Agrabah, Genie basks in being outside again and explains to Sora that never getting to go outside comes with the job, and Aladdin promises to make his third wish to be the wish that sets him free. And I would love to just take this moment now to say that I really enjoyed the Genie introduction animation. It felt very on par and very paralleled with the movie. Again, like what we were talking about with Clayton's face, like the animation work that went into creating the absolute craziness and
definitely
bizarro and topsy-turviness of Genie's intro as if it was the movie.
Definitely.
I felt was very true to Robin Williams, and rest in peace to truly one of my favorite performers and entertainers of my life.
I also want to say that shouldn't count as a wish being saved from the Cave of Wonders.
Wait, I think personally. It does.
I know, but I don't think it should, because it's like, bro, if I don't get out, you don't get out either. So like, I don't think it should count as a wish.
You're right. No, because in the movie, he tricks him into doing it and it doesn't count. So he does get through. You're right. When you write.
Definitely shouldn't count as a wish.
It should not have counted as a wish.
I also think that I personally would wish to get rid of all these Heartless, because I think this world, the Fat Bandit, is my least favorite of the Heartless.
My God, I hate the Fat Bandit. He is such a prick.
Shout out to the Fat Bandit. I hate you. You are the worst Heartless.
Such a good line. Shout out to the Fat Bandit. I hate you.
Just because, like, you got to get behind him.
I can't hit his front, so I got to hit from behind. And once I am, he could like turn around quickly and start spraying me with fire.
Over it.
This, I believe you learn gravity right before this world. Gravity is so clutch with Fat Bandit and with Large Body. Like, it's insane. And again, going back to what we were saying, I never used magic as a kid. I don't know how I got through fighting Fat Bandits and Large Bodies without using gravity, because that shit, oh my God, they're the worst. You're right. Shout out. You're the worst.
They are the worst.
Oh God. So, upon our return to Agrabah, we see it's gone through some renovations, and through some new heights and passageways, they find themselves back at Aladdin's to contemplate where the keyhole could be. Now, this is something, again, I might be overthinking it, but hear me out.
Okay.
So Genie chirps up and says he could swear he's heard about that somewhere before, but mutters to himself, now where was it? It's only been about 200 years. Before Aladdin bursts, so we have to stop Jafar before it's too late. And I'll get to the part I want to talk about in a second. So it's back to the streets of Agrabah, and we're led to the palace gates where Jafar has caught Princess Jasmine. Aladdin rubs the lamp and asks for a second wish to help Jasmine, but just as Genie has her in his arms, technically the wish was granted, so bummer. Iago steals the lamp from Aladdin and the wish has become wasted, and Jasmine is tossed. And by tossed, I will post this on our Instagram, but Jasmine is tossed in a pot. With the lamp in Jafar's possession and Jasmine trapped in one of the pots forming the pot centipede, the gang fights them off. Unfortunately, it was all a trick, and Jafar has moved her to the desert and the gang is off to follow. So, the thing I want to talk about, I might be overthinking it. It might just be a joke.
Okay.
However, is Genie referring to the Keyblade Wars, parentheses, 200 years ago-ish, or only that he's been a genie for the last 200 years? I don't know. I thought that was something that felt, because Aladdin bursts in and like interrupts him from his thought, there was a part of me that was like, are we getting
a hint?
A timeline? Like, yeah, a hint, a number to how long ago the Keyblade Wars were? Again, I know we're jumping a little bit, but we warned you guys in the beginning of this episode and all the other ones that we might be talking about other things. But Brittany, what do you think? Do you think I'm overthinking it, or do you think that it could be a reference to the Keyblade Wars?
I think it could definitely be a fair point. Do we know that they were 200 years ago?
We don't know. Not at this point. We might have a number somewhere in the other games or so, but at this point, I mean, we don't even know about the Keyblade Wars. But Genie, to be fair, Genie is talking about the keyhole of this world, but wouldn't knowledge of the Keyblade go hand in hand, right? What do you think?
I would think so. And I think, Genie is a all knowledgeable old creature, mystical creature. So I feel like it is definitely possible, but I don't know. That's a good question.
I would like to put a pin in it. I would like to entertain that he could be inferring. Who knows? But yes, sound off in the comments. Let us know.
If you guys know, let us know. I would like to know.
Let us know. If we don't know, let us know. I like that, actually. I want to try to remember that. They're met with the guardian of the Cave of Wonders, who's been possessed by the Heartless. After fighting off the darkness, they enter the Cave of Wonders. Meanwhile, Jafar uses his first wish to have Genie reveal the keyhole, and it looks like his plan will come to fruition. Maleficent has joined the party and is not thrilled to hear that Sora is in town. Jafar wonders why she won't explain the situation to Riku, because it could prove useful to but then they're cut off, because before he can say what, he's interrupted by the gang entering the lamp chamber. Sora magically knows to guess who Maleficent is, but she disappears in thin air. Sorry, that was a little plot point of myself, because again, we're talking about a boy who's never been off his island before.
Right.
He's just going to guess that that's Maleficent. Also, not a very common name, but I digress. I don't think they knew how big this is going to be, that 20 years later, two girls are going to be dissecting this. But right, am I right? He guesses it's Maleficent out of nowhere.
It's true. Yes, that is very true.
Right. Aladdin demands Jafar let Jasmine go, but he will not have it. He explains that she is a princess and is one of 7 who somehow hold the key to opening the door, to which Goofy and Donald very much comprehend. Jafar unleashes his second wish for Genie to crush them. However, Sora and company become the victor, and in the wake of his defeat, Jafar makes his third and final wish to make him an all-powerful genie and blast himself further down below the Cave of Wonders. Jasmine still lays passed out by the keyhole, but they have to stop Jafar first. So they battle this final form of Jafar by dodging his attacks and knocking the lamp out of Iago's grip. Once they do, they remind Jafar that while he has fantastic cosmic power, he's still a genie, making him a slave to the lamp, and they force him back down the lamp. Again, still the same beats from the film, just getting there in a different way.
Yeah, I was just going to say, very true to the movie in that one. And it's also hilarious the way they leave Jasmine just passed out there. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
But that's also, it's dang, you're just leaving Jasmine there like that.
I remember because I went to go get her, and Aladdin's word prompt, the thing he says is we'll be back for her. We have to go after Jafar first. And it's this is your girl. What are you doing?
At least move her out of the way.
Yeah.
At least slide her out of the way. Damn.
At least, throw her under carpet and get her out of here. Oh my God. I can't.
So funny.
During the battle, though, we see Jasmine wake up but get taken. By the time the gang reaches back to her in the keyhole, oh my God, who would have thunk it? She's gone. Sora seals the world and jumps on carpet to flee the Cave of Wonders in all its gooey lava glory. Aladdin knows she's not in Agrabah anymore and wants to find her with Sora, Donald, and Goofy. But, as we all know, they can't bring Aladdin with them due to the world meddling, aka proprietary, copywritten rules.
Aladdin, you gotta stay here.
Per Walt Disney himself. Genie reminds Aladdin he has one more wish, and he can just wish for Genie to find Jasmine. But instead, Aladdin keeps his promise and wishes for Genie's freedom. As a friendly favor, Genie offers to tag along with Sora and the gang as a summon stone to help find Jasmine on his behalf. And my little thing to just throw in is I just really, how we've been saying this whole time, I just really appreciate how much they've made the game beats feel like the movie.
Yeah, that's one. I think that's my favorite part in the movie. At the end is when he's like, "Genie, you're free," and you're like, "Ah!"
The music swells and the chains just disappear off his wrist. Oh my God!
He's I'm going to Disney or whatever he says.
Every time me and Sarah watch it, we're both always oh, he's gonna miss him. like through tears, you're like, oh my God, he's so sad. Like, this is so sad.
It is so sad. But so happy at the same time.
I'm with you. I feel like I cry at the end of that movie every single time. It's just, it's all of it. It's Robin. It's the music. It's the chains coming free and Aladdin keeping his word. It's just super sweet.
It is super sweet.
To close off this world, we get another Elsewhere. Because elsewhere, Hades, Maleficent, and Riku are circled around discussing what just happened in Agrabah. Hades dumps on Riku for dipping out early, but hey, Riku did his part and grabbed the princess, didn't he? Oh, my pearls.
Traitor.
Maleficent, traitor.
Traitor.
Maleficent felt Jafar was beyond help and was consumed by his own hatred. One should beware of letting it burn too fiercely, she says directly at Hades. Hades assures he's fine and shows Riku the something special they have for him, a vision of Kairi, but she's laying very still. Maleficent tells him to go to her, and a certain captain with a certain hook joins as an escort. Riku questions why they're doing this for him and suspects a catch. But of course, Maleficent assures him that he's like a son to her and only wants him to be happy, and that whatever he believes, she has kept her end of the bargain. Riku continues on, but is incredibly wary of Maleficent, and she knows it. So big ending here in terms of Riku actively taking part in nefarious doings.
Tisk, tisk.
I actually thought it was Maleficent that took Jasmine. I was actually surprised that it was Riku. I completely forgot.
Very disappointed, but not shocked in Mr. Riku.
But not shocked. There you go. The most parenting thing you could have just said. I'm not shocked. I'm just disappointed.
Also, I was thinking, like, what if they did wish to save Jasmine? Like, how would that have fucked up the whole entire plan of them getting her back?
It would have cut to the credits of just, when you walk away.
Like, how would that have gone if she was, like, with them and then all of a sudden, like, boom, she's back with Sora and everybody, and you're like, oh, dang. I wonder how that would have played out. Just saying.
That's so funny. What would they have done? It would have cut to credits. It just would have been the whole classic cut to credits because they lost their princess.
Foiled their plans. Would they have gotten another princess? Who knows?
I mean, so many to pick from.
Yeah, something to think about. Also, like, how do the bad guys, like, use the keyhole if they don't have a keyblade? Like,
that's a really good question.
Do they, like, blow it up? Yeah, like, how do they access it if they don't have a keyblade, right?
They just shove a bunch of Heartless through it and just hope for the best. Like,
I guess.
You're totally right. What do they care about the keyhole? They don't have a fucking key to open it.
They just want to destroy the world, right?
Wait. Doesn't Riku have a keyblade?
No, that is actually not a keyblade that he has.
It's not?
It's just a sword. I looked this up.
It's such a sick sword, though.
I believe I talk about this I believe it's Hollow Bastion, or I talk about it in one of the worlds. It's called the Soul Eater sword. It's not a keyblade. The, like, bluish, like, red.
It's called a Soul Eater sword? Interesting.
He doesn't get the keyblade until that part.
That part.
So
interesting. Yo, you are totally right. What do they care about finding these damn keyholes?
I don't know.
Interesting. I think let's just, like, keep our heads up, or you know what? How about you guys let us know what they would have done with these keyholes if they found them?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
That's a lot for a 15-year-old.
Yes, it
He shouldn't
is.
be having anything called a Soul Eater.
I mean, with whatever comes great power, right? Something like that. Some greatness.
All right, now we're just mixing
like
universes. Whatever, Disney owns all of it anyway. Yeah. You're talking Spider-Man to me. Like, of course.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Spider-Man.
That's so funny. But it's Marvel.
With great responsibility comes great power. Something like that.
It's the other way. With great power comes great responsibility.
Whatever it is.
I wish I got a bunch of power from getting responsibility. Oh my gosh. Jeez Louise. Well, let's just get into, before we get into storyline update, we obtain a couple things. There's a few things that we gain. On top of a new Keyblade, we get a torn page for Winnie the Pooh's 100 Acre Woods. So we do get that. But something incredibly important that we get, because we had just learned about Ansem in our last trip to Traverse Town, is we get his first report.
Yes.
Leon, Aerith, and Yuffie were talking about his reports are scattered all over the world. So we finally get our first Ansem report, which is super exciting.
Big. And it's actually number 1.
It is actually number 1. They do get skipped around like the ones that we obtained, but we did get number 1. Guys, we got the first one.
Actually got number 1.
Yes. So the first one reads, much of my life has been dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge. That knowledge has guarded this world well. Not a soul doubts that. I am blessed with my people's smiles and respect. But though I am called a sage, there are things I do not understand. I believe darkness sleeps in every heart, no matter how pure. Given the chance, the smallest drop can spread and swallow the heart. I have witnessed it many times. Darkness. Darkness of the heart. How is it born? How does it come to affect us so? As a ruler of this world, I must find the answers. I must find them before the world is lost to those taken by the darkness. So in short, Ansem was a leader who took it upon himself to find the answers about the darkness of our hearts. Definitely painting a pretty good picture of Ansem and the kind of leader that he is.
Yes.
Was. We don't know. We don't know. But that is something to move into our storyline update portion of the episode. That was something that I decided, Brittany, if you're on board with it, to add to the universe's story. There's a chance, depending on how this storyline goes, the way that we're boarding it, it's subject to change depending on the needs of the podcast, the information that we get from it.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, I've added the Ansem report under the universe's story category because I think that just makes sense, at least for now.
For sure.
So, for the world encountered, which is Agrabah, Jafar overthrows the Sultan for power and controls the city with the Heartless. In his control of the city, looks to kidnap the Princess Jasmine for a bigger goal in mind. And Aladdin keeps his word and frees the genie. So that is basically what happens in Agrabah.
Yes.
Kind of chopped up to sort of match the movie. For the universe's story, for that part of the categories, Jafar and Maleficent reveal that they need 7 princesses of heart to open the final door. There is a possible date for the start of the Keyblade Wars, ?
Possibly.
Riku is actively participating in evil doing.
Shame.
Which is something he hasn't quite done yet. Shame.
Shame.
I know your name. And it's Riku. And we get our first Ansem report 1. And that is Agrabah. That is all the things that happened in Agrabah. That felt like a lot, but also not. We didn't even... This one, I will say, we didn't really get into gameplay that much of this one, except for Fat Bandit.
About my guy, Fat Bandit.
If I could just jump in really quick, I hated Cave of Wonders. I totally forgot how annoying Cave of Wonders is.
Yeah, the swimming up the waterfall.
Oh my god.
What is
that? Oh my god, Brittany. I told you that, right? I told you that. I think I texted you. I was like, what the fuck do you mean you can swim up a waterfall? Like, how would you know that?
And just like if you fall off the platform in the Cave of Wonders, you end up all the way back at the bottom again. Yeah. We love this game. We just have to remind you.
One more time, we love this game. We'll probably remind it again and again, but we do love this game. We promise. Oh my gosh. But other than that, I mean, because even with in Agrabah, in the city of Agrabah, even if you fall, it's not that hard to get back to wherever you were going. But Cave of Wonders, dude, is just batshit. It is just not fair.
It's not it.
But one quick thing. This is I didn't even put this into the script, but so there was a contest when Final Mix was coming out that if you submitted your name to something, there was something you had to do for the contest that if you were chosen, you would be the new Heartless boss battle, a secret boss battle was created in Agrabah. And it would be named after you.
No.
And so there is a boss battle named Kurt Zisa, Zisa, who is from Long Island.
Shut up. No way.
I know, but this
hilarious.
Kurt Zisa, submitted his name, and now if you look, there is a Heartless battle in Agrabah. I believe you can only access it after you enter Halabashan. It's what you do before you get to the last world. But yeah, The homie's from Long Island.
That is wild. Shout out to Kurt.
Shout out to Kurt.
Good for you. I think that's a nice little fun fact. I did not know that whatsoever.
Right? That was like a fun little fun fact. That was something, because I remember Kurt Zisa was like PJ's 13th reason at one point he could just not beat this guy. And I was like, what the hell kind of heartless name is Kurt Zisa? And then he told me, and I was like, I wanted, where was I when this contest came about? I would have loved. Where were we? Golly.
Dang. Missed out.
Anyway, that is Agrabah. That is all our big points. Everything else we have, we're going to throw it onto our Instagram for everyone else to see. Brittany, before we leave, is there anything else that you had to say about Agrabah?
I don't think so. I think that was a fun world. I think that has been the better of the ones we have done so far.
Absolutely. I'm looking at all of them. I think besides like just the coziness of Traverse Town.
Yeah.
Agrabah, like in terms of like Disney worlds, this is the best Disney world we've come across so far.
For sure. I could agree on that. Yes. So yeah, no, I think we did great.
I think we did good too.
That was awesome.
That's it. That's all we got. Brittany, I love you. Thank you for being with me.
Love ya. Anytime.
And Brittany, you're leading next episode.
Oh my gosh.
It's all on you, girly.
Oh my gosh. I'm a big girl now.
We will see you guys in Monstro.
Literally in Monstro. Legit.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Gummi Ship Radio.
You and your power, aka your friends, can follow the show on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
To see our storyline update, stay in the know, or just to say hey, you can follow our account on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Gummi Ship Radio, or email us at gummishipradio@gmail.com.
Please rate and review our podcasts. Your support will help us immeasurably.
Our intro is arranged and theme music created by Matt Whiteford.
This podcast is hosted and produced by Victoria Harrington and Brittany Morales.
We'll be thinking of you wherever you are, and see you next time.